Hey folks, guess what? Note 10 Plus is in the house. Finally, I've got one here. Galaxy Note 10 Plus. This one is from my good friends at T-Mobile, so I want to thank them for providing this. I also want to say that the folks at Samsung have sent me an unlocked device, so obviously one of these is going to go back, but I wanted to thank both of them and mostly the folks at T-Mobile for really being there for me when I need devices. So thanks, special thanks to them. Let's unbox this sucker. You know all about it. I did a hands-on video, which I will link to somewhere up here a month ago or so in New York City. So dun, 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 dun. Look at that S-Pen. Oh, there's something in here. Wow, okay. So that's interesting. You got the box, but then you've got this Samsung little divider here going on, and then you got some documentation in there and a SIM removal tool, of course, and T-Mobile documentation. Of course, this is a T-Mobile device. Limited warranty, all the legalese, don't care. What else is this? So if you want to use another protector, you need to make sure it supports the ultrasonic fingerprint reader. We got a welcome start guide, T-Mobile branded. It transfer what's important. Comes with a little transfer dongle, just like all Galaxies. Terms and conditions, and 2 languages. So that's it. Nothing else in here. And there is the phone, what you've been waiting for, all of you all. This is the Aurora colored one, the one that's like a rainbow color that reflects everything and anything in weird, beautiful colors. Before I get into that, let's have a look at what else is in the phone. There's a little divider here, and then here is a fast charger. This is actually a change of chargers for Samsung. Until now, they've all been USB-A. So this is a higher power charger. I'm going to leave it up so we can look at the specs. I believe it could be like something like a 30 watt or 25 watt charger in the box. It says on here, super fast charging. USB Type-C PD, obviously, or some sort of PD variant. And yeah, big change for Samsung that has been shipping the same charger design, at least cosmetically, for a while. Here's that dongle I mentioned. There's also something else in here. What is it? All right, that's interesting. I think these are the S-Pen removal tool and replacement tips. So this is a USB Type-A female to USB Type-C adapter to transfer all your stuff over. Nothing unusual, but this here is the S-Pen removal tool. Like, you kind of like grab the tip with this little thing, little grabber. As you can see, there's at least one replacement S-Pen tip in here. This is on every Note, a very interesting little accessory. And then obviously this is the box all this came in. And additionally, you have some cables, as you'd expect. This is a oh, there we go. I was going to say, this seems pretty stuck in there, but you can see there is a USB Type-C to Type-C cable. Type-C at both ends. One here and one here. And we've got some AKG branded headphones. Remember, Harman is now owned by Samsung, so they always bundle these phones with AKG headphones. And in this case, let's have a look to see if these are USB-C. I would guess they are. Yes, they are USB-C, since this is the first Samsung phone without a headphone jack, flagship at least. And here are replacement, I don't know, mushrooms I call them, little ear silicone tips, right? So that's it. That's what's in the box, folks. Let's have a look at that phone, shall we? This is what you came for. There it is. So, the specs are pretty well known by this point. As you can see, this is that beautiful Aurora Glow, right? So there's 3 cameras in the back. We all know this. I don't know which one's which, but the first one is a normal camera. It's f1.5 to 2.4, meaning it has dual aperture. Same thing as the Galaxy S10 Plus, Galaxy Note 9, Galaxy S9. It has OIS and dual pixel autofocus. Pretty much the same sensor they've had. These are 1.4 micron sensors. Then they now have a 12 megapixel telephoto, and this is a 2x telephoto with OIS. But what's improved on the telephoto is that for the first time, they now have an f-stop of 2.1. That's a much faster lens, which is going to enable better low light performance when you take zoom photos. So that's a big deal. And the third one is 16. It is a f/2.2 ultra wide, and it doesn't have OIS, but yeah. Both of the secondary cameras have 1 micron pixels, pretty small, but the main has 1.4 with a dual aperture, so it's gonna rock. And then got this incredibly beautiful finish. There's a 4,300 milliamp hour battery in this beast. And then let's turn it on so we can look at the screen. The interesting thing is the power lock key and the volume rocker on the left side of this here. This is the first time in a long time we've had a phone like that. Kind of weird to me, but hey, it's worth it because this display is incredible. So let's talk about the screen. This is actually a very large display. It's 6.8 inches. Like, here are my hands. Look at this. The T-Mobile jingle. Look at this screen. It has a tiny little hole, punch-through hole here for the secondary camera, which is a 10 megapixel f/2.2 camera with dual pixel autofocus. Let's turn that off. This setup is interesting because in the past, Samsung's used autofocus on the front camera, so I'm wondering if they're continuing. But look at this, it's almost all screen. There's tiny little chin here, but almost no bezel anywhere else. This is kind of incredible. So yeah, looking forward to using this phone quite a bit. Of course, you know the specs. Snapdragon 855, 12 gigs of RAM. This particular unit is a 256 gigabyte unit. There is microSD expansion and 512 gigabyte version available. There's an in-display fingerprint sensor. It is an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor through the screen, so that's pretty common nowadays. Most of them are optical though. No headphone jack, so let's have a quick walk around, shall we? On top, we have the SIM slot, obviously, right here. And so a couple of holes. I'm not quite sure what these are for, but one's definitely a secondary microphone. Then we've got this left-hand side with the power lock key and the volume rocker. On the bottom, we have a USB Type-C port for audio and charging and data. Primary microphone, the speaker, which I think is stereo, obviously, on these. Yeah, it probably uses the earpiece, which is hidden in there somewhere as a stereo speaker. Actually, is it hidden in there, or is this using the display as a speaker? I need to think about this one. Honestly, can't remember. Anyway, might be that this is actually the speaker on the top, who knows? And of course there's the S-Pen, which right there doesn't really do anything right now, but I mean, I can tap on this and it'll tell me to insert a SIM card, right? But it's nice and blue on this Aurora color, and it's got the button on there, and it's got Bluetooth this year again, like the Note 9, but it also has sensors in it, so you can detect motion and acceleration, very much like a Wii controller when it first came out. So this lets you do, like, basically become a magician and do the spell thing, like on Harry Potter, right? So apparently it's super gimmicky. I played with it a little bit at the event. Nothing to write home about, to be honest. So that's the bottom. And of course, the right-hand side is completely clear. There's nothing on the side. So that's the lay of the land. Those are the specs. Not much else to say. You know, it is the Note 10 Plus. It is the flagship from Samsung. It is the mother of all phones. It has everything but the kitchen sink, including wireless charging, which is reversible, which means you can charge earbuds or whatever, another phone. It has obviously no headphone jack. That's the big difference. First time for a Samsung phone to not have headphone jack at a flagship level. So I'll let you know how it works out when I start playing with this phone. Please stay tuned, like the video, tell your friends, subscribe to the channel, comment in the comments below, talk to me on Twitter at Tankgirl, TNKGRL. Please listen to the podcast. This is a complement to the podcast. It's additional content for the podcast at mobiletechpodcast.com. That's where the RSS feed is. You can also find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Overcast, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, everywhere. So please subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you soon with more unboxing videos. Cheers, everybody.